Hey, Don Ennis reporting for the Los Angeles Blade, the Washington Blade, here outside the Supreme Court, where a majority of conservative justices have gutted affirmative action. They have reversed decades of tradition, and they are going to make it harder for people of color, for people of marginalized groups such as brown, black, and other Americans who are not white to gain an equal education. I'm covering this as a member of the press, but I'm also a member of the University of Hartford. And here I am talking to folks about what's happened. Let's see what this guy's saying.
I think, I don't believe this is the end of the world as it relates to minorities. In higher education, I believe there's alternatives out there besides Ivy League institutions that they can go to and be just as successful.
Hello, sir. I see your shirt. Is this a victory today for you?
Oh, very happy.
And why?
Huh?
Why are you happy?
Because we make the effort for more than 10 years. Yeah, we work on this. As I say, we are Asian American.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids ourselves, we discriminate in the work. We work so hard, either college or professionally.
Do you feel that the people who are criticizing the decision have it wrong?
No, they have their own reason, right? But they have a different angle. But from my understanding, people should do, like a politician fail to do, is enforce K to 12 education. So you can have qualified kids go to college, then later on they have their life, right? They can their own dream, American dream.
Here's a guy wearing a Trump shirt. How come you're wearing a Trump shirt today, sir? Are you a Trump supporter?
So I wear one every day.
Yeah? So is this a good day for you?
Not a bad day.
Not a bad day. And why do you say that?
I don't talk to the press.
Oh, you don't? Okay, well, I'm also a university professor.
What?
I'm a university professor as well as a journalist.
Oh, I see. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is good. I like educating people, no matter how they identify or what they look like, you know?
That's very commendable. The shirt says it all.
It sure does say it all. It tells me a lot about you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You bet.
I'm Don Ennis from the Los Angeles and Washington Blade.
Hi, great to meet you.
You're on Instagram Live right now.
Oh, awesome.
Did you want to stand in front of the court?
Sure.
Better backdrop?
Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's in charge. Sorry. God forbid I produced this.
Are you looking for like an in-person comment?
Yeah, if possible.
I am for some issues, not this one.
Oh, you're not for affirmative action?
Huh?
Not for the affirmative action?
No, abortion and religious liberty. Yeah. I don't think I've read it to give a comment, but I appreciate the opportunity. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so much for that. So the ACLU sent somebody who was able to talk about religious liberty, but not affirmative action. I've been talking to people, and what's interesting is almost everybody here thinks this is a good decision, thinks that affirmative action is dead, and that's great. I've talked to Trump supporters. I've overheard people from Arizona talking about how they should allow everybody to have, equal opportunity, no matter what their color or race is. So there are folks who are Asian American who are here to protest. Who wants to talk first about why your group is in favor of affirmative action and against the decision today?
I can speak first. My name is Jack. I'm going into my third year at Wesleyan University. And today, the decision at the Supreme Court is very, very disappointing to me as an Asian American. I feel like our diversity is essential to our multiracial democracy. And the Supreme Court has taken a big step backwards in what they've decided.
Yeah, affirmative action is really important because it is a form of racial justice. And as a student who goes to a predominantly white institution, I recognize and I viscerally see the importance of having diversity within the student body and of being able to learn within each other of our intersectional identities. It is so impactful and important. So it's very disheartening to see this, but we will not back down. This is still going to be a fight for us to still continue to campaign and to advocate for what is needed and for what is right.
Tell us your name.
My name is Sunny Hu, and I'm a rising senior at Williams College.
Hello.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly G, and I am a current rising sophomore at Pomona College, but I grew up in this area, which is why I'm so involved in this fight. Affirmative action isn't as big of a deal in California as it is in the rest of the country. And so coming back from college was like a huge change for me. And I guess it was really, really disappointing to come back from such like a wonderful education and see that diversity is still like a debate for people, because affirmative action isn't considered by a lot of the Supreme Court and a lot of people even in this area. It's not considered a way to combat structuralized racism. It's a way to like incorporate Asian American cultural essentialism into the general populace, which basically means that people are reinforcing the idea that Asian people are smarter than everyone else, that Asian people try harder than everyone else, and that Black and brown students don't deserve opportunity to go to school. So this decision is impacting every single student across the country.
What's your feeling in terms of, there are groups here of Asian Americans who are very happy about this decision. What's your reaction to that? I mean, you're not a monolith, obviously.
They do not represent our community. Public opinion polling has shown time and time again that a majority of Asian Americans are in favor of affirmative action and race-conscious admissions policies. And by and large, the movement to strike down affirmative action has been led by white conservative Republican operatives for the last 30 years. They've been relitigating the same kinds of cases over and over and over. And this time, they found exactly the type of plaintiff that they wanted. And I think it's unfair that our community is being used as a wedge to take down multiracial democracy, not only at the university level, but at levels above, because it all starts in higher education. Opportunities that we can gain for ascension in society begin at higher education.
Can I ask y'all, what does the blue symbolize, if you could?
The blue handkerchiefs?
Yes.
Blue handkerchiefs, these are just to show our support for the organizations that we work with, which are Asian Americans Advancing Justice, NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Lawyers Committee, Committee on Civil Rights, etc. So there is a coalition of organizations actively working to promote diversity and defend diversity.
This is not the end for our movement for multiracial democracy. The Supreme Court may have rolled back over 40 years of law, but civil rights organizations throughout the country are going to keep fighting this fight until we make back everything that's lost. We're going to stay hopeful. We're going to work with our partners in the university admissions systems to develop alternatives to race-conscious admissions and ensure that our dream of equality for all in America stays alive.
What organization are you with?
I'm working with OCA National. We're a national nonprofit advocacy organization working for the Asian American community. We have chapters throughout the country, and we help empower their youth leadership programs and promote policies here on the Hill.
Say the name of the group again.
That's OCA National.
What does OCA stand for, sir? Sorry.
OCA doesn't stand for anything, actually. We used to be Organization of Chinese Americans, but now we've since rebranded to OCA Asian Pacific American Advocates.
Yeah,
Got it.
And sorry, I missed the top there. I just snuck in at the last minute. I'm from the BBC. So to understand it correctly, you're obviously very unhappy with today's decision. Clearly, one of the arguments was people who brought the case said that it was discriminating against Asian students. What's your view on that argument?
It's definitely disheartening to see arguments like this because there is a lot of misinformation and disinformation regarding affirmative action. And I think just the main important thing is that Asian Americans, we are not a monolith. That like these arguments does not represent all of us, and that actually the Asian American community is so diverse, which is why affirmative action is needed in order to really encompass all of the Asian Americans and also a lot of the history of colonization, imperialism, and racism behind that, and which is why affirmative action is something so crucial within these institutions and within our education system.
So do you feel misrepresented as well in what they've said and what they've done?
I feel misrepresented in the sense that if you look at who is arguing for students for fair admission, it is all Chinese Americans. And if you look at any Asian American issues in this country, you'll see that Chinese Americans are on the forefront of everything, and I myself am Chinese American. And so being able to see the significant disparities between Chinese Americans, Korean Americans, Japanese Americans, and literally every single other Asian ethnic group is really disheartening to see. And it's disheartening to see especially Chinese people advocating against affirmative action, labeling themselves as speaking for every single Asian American, when in reality they're only looking out for themselves.
And can I just ask one word that you might have to describe today's decision each?
God.
Putting
I
you on
would
the
say
spot, I know.
disappointing, but I really don't think that's enough.
I would say disheartening, but it doesn't encompass all the things.
invigorating. We are not going to stop.
That's great, guys. Thank you so much.
I have one question from the queer press. I don't know if any of you identify as queer, but this is an intersectional issue as well, and you do. So can you tell me what the message is in terms of, there's discrimination already in this country against LGBTQ people. This is just one more step by the conservative justices. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I think in general it's definitely really disheartening, especially with the rise of anti-LGBTQ sentiments and like regulation and laws being passed around. And now also with the decision of the Supreme Court, it's very disheartening. As someone who identifies as a queer Asian American woman, I see how affirmative action is really necessary and how important it is for all of these identities and for all of these students to be able to go to higher ed, to be able to go to an institution and to feel represented in classrooms and other safe spaces.
You made my day. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride as well.
Thank you, everyone.
One thing that has struck me when we're talking to my friends about it, because we're all higher ed nerds, is that Harvard is a small university, and this is going to affect like all. I mean, you guys are from Harvard, and you have like all these universities. I mean, how do you think this is going to affect like higher ed as a whole?
I think this decision is going to scare them. I think individual admissions are going to retract their holistic admissions policies, not even just explicitly in terms of race. They're going to retract forms of promoting equality because they're scared that they're going to get sued. And so this is going to go beyond just a race issue. This is going to turn into a socioeconomic issue. This is going to turn into a gender identity issue, and this is going to turn into a sexual orientation issue. So this decision does affect everyone regardless of like what race they identify as.
I think it's also important to note that this decision today doesn't stand on itself. The activists, Ed Bloom and his whole conservative apparatus, have been trying to promote this idea, this quote-unquote race-blind America, for over 30 years. And this is only the culmination of their movement. And I think, it's important to view it in the context of all of that conservatives on his side are trying to promote a vision of America that is inconsistent with our history as a multiracial democracy, and is a serious step back for equality across the board, not only in Harvard or UNC.
Yeah.
The history of America is anti-American, anti-Asian hate, and I hear you say you're invigorated. Tell me why invigorated and not challenged or disappointed or dispirited, because let's face it, Asian American hate is a rising epidemic. It's been around for 400 years, but it's now, I think, at its worst.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Asian American hate has been rising as of lately, especially during the pandemic and because of that. And the reason why I feel invigorated is because we have to have hope. We have to have hope. The Supreme Court has just overturned 40 years of law again, after many times of doing so. Shelby County versus Holder, Dobbs last summer. And it's important that in the face of such a big opposition, that we as the people, we as the Asian American community, need to stay hopeful and stay in the fight. We cannot.
Folks who are opposed to the decision, and one of them queer. See? We're everywhere. Reporting from the Supreme Court, I'm Ennis for The Blade.